There's certain frequencies in life, and you got to tap in with the frequency of abundance, frequency of love. You know, I remember when I first got into my journey as an entrepreneur, I was depressed. And one thing that I learned about life, I learned this from God. I learned this from all my travels, all the books that I've read, all the conventions. And one of the biggest things is that when you're brought into this world, this fourth dimensional world, right? You chose to be here. And when you got here, you was happy. Your only purpose in life is to be joyful, is to be happy, is to live it up 100%. And anytime you drift away from that, that's not who you really are, right? So if you do feel depressed, if you do feel sad, if you do feel unmotivated, feelings are really just an emotional guidance system. So your feelings are gonna guide you to where you need to be. So sometimes it's okay to feel it. The worst thing you could do is try to suppress your feelings. And I'm just trying to show you how to get back to that place, or how to stay in that place, or how to live in that place and just manifest more things from that place. Because if you manifest things from abundance, you're just gonna have more abundance. If you manifest things from love, you're just gonna have more love. But if you're manifesting from a place of just depression and sadness and unmotivatedness and quitting and stuff like that, you're just gonna be in a loop where you're not happy. You keep attracting whatever space you're in, right? So when you aren't full of love and you aren't in your natural state of happiness and joy or whatever, you have to feel the feelings that come to you. So if you're sad and you're depressed, you gotta figure out why. You have to feel it totally. You know, if you're tired, rest. If you're not, then learn from the feelings that you're feeling. Like when I used to be depressed, I was trying to manifest a better life. I wanted to travel. I wanted to live life on my own terms. But I realized that I was just living in the fourth dimension. I thought everything that I wanted was outside of me, and it's not. Okay, a very spiritual next level concept that I learned was you have the fourth dimension, but there's also a fifth dimension. There's two-dimensional figures. If you write something down on paper, that's a two-dimensional drawing. Anything you put down on paper, anything that you see is boom, 2 dimensions. The third dimension is the life that, you know, you see. This is a 3-dimensional figure right here. Anything that you could touch, anything that you could feel, that's 3D. The fourth dimension is where we live. That's where time exists. Okay, so it's like 3D in frames. This is where we're at now, the fourth dimension. Some people are only stuck in the fourth dimension, and this is what's called the matrix. The fourth dimension is where people get stuck. They feel like they don't have any control. And the reason why is because they forgot how to be happy. They forgot to live the life that they always dreamed of. Well, the life that you always dreamed of, and your whole happiness, and your whole fulfillment, and all the abundance, and all the love, it's inside of you. It's in your mind. It's in your spirit. And this is the fifth dimension. And a lot of people forget about the fifth dimension. The fifth dimension is where you create. The fifth dimension is where you have fun. And whether you realize it or not, you're always creating out of the fifth dimension. It's just a lot of people are unconscious, right? You could tap into the fifth dimension. Your mind is around you. You have your body, you have your brain. Your mind controls your brain. Your mind is this electromagnetic field around you. And this is how you attract things into your life. This is a holographic world that we live in. And you control it through the fifth dimension. But a lot of people aren't operating out of the fifth dimension. They're operating out of they're just in the fourth dimension. They think everything is outside of them. Everything's inside of you. So with this electromagnetic field, you can attract all the things that you feel because you access the fifth dimension with your feelings and through your spirit. So the goal is to always find your way back to your natural state of joy and happiness and love and gratefulness. The best way to stay there is think about things you're grateful for. Understand that everything on the external is just a reflection of everything on the internal. You create your life, the good and the bad. And even when the bad happens, the key is to stay in the fifth dimension and control your feelings still. When things aren't going your way, still feel good. That's the only way to turn it back around. If you stay down out of your natural state, you're gonna bring back things that you're not happy with. Okay, family, and I know this is a little bit deep because I'm talking frequencies here. These are things that aren't seen. Your brain is literally just a transmitter. Your mind is literally an electromagnetic field. And then in this world, this fourth dimensional world that we live in, there's another dimension where it's literally just frequencies. And it's not anything material. Frequencies are only feelings. Okay, so don't think about what you want. Think about why you want it. Think about what makes you feel good. Okay, you want freedom, feel freedom now. That's how you attract it into your electromagnetic field. That's how you see it in your hologram. We live in a simulation, family. It's almost like a simulation, right? I mean, everything is really real. Anything you can imagine is real. The fifth dimension is your imagination, right? This is where God lives, and God is a part of you. God is in you, right? You create with God. And if you think about it, family, your imagination is the fifth dimension. This is where you create. So what are you imagining on a daily day? Usually people that are stuck in the matrix, they're stuck in the fourth dimension. They never access the fifth dimension. There's a part of your brain, it's called the pineal gland. The pineal gland is where you access this higher realm, this fifth dimension where you create from. The more clear you can make your imagination, the more detailed you can make what it is you want out of life. You could find your voice in there, in your spirit, and you could command your life how you want it in the fifth dimension. And then it'll show up in the fourth dimension. But the key is, family, again, you gotta stay in your natural state of happiness. You're not supposed to feel depressed, but if you do, your feelings are just indicators, nothing more, nothing less. If you could be objective about your emotions, as much of a paradox as that might sound like, if you're sad, cry it out, feel it, let it go, and then you'll find a higher frequency. Maybe you're shameful, right? A higher frequency would be depression. A higher frequency than that would be anger, right? But feel it fully. Why are you angry? It's okay to feel these feelings. The more you suppress it, the more you get stuck in that state, or it'll manifest in either disease or just unfavorable circumstances. So the more you just feel it and allow it, the more you could rise back up to your natural state. So then, you know, a higher frequency than anger might be pride. Higher than pride might be courage. Higher than courage might be acceptance. Right? Higher than acceptance, you start to feel gratitude, love, peace. And that's where your natural state is. And when you operate from that state in the fifth dimension, you can create whatever life that you want to create with whatever vehicle. The right people will come into your life who operate out of that same frequency. We live in a world of frequencies. Nikola Tesla said, you want to understand life, you want to understand the universe, study vibrations and frequencies. It's a very real thing. Everything that you want, all the possibilities of the entire world and the universe is already in this fifth dimension. And you can access it by closing your eyes and figuring out what it is that you really want. And if you're patient, and if you stay, the key is to stay in your natural state of joy and gratitude. And it can take time, but you'll start to notice that you're creating your life. And you'll start to notice, even when you was unconsciously creating your life of unfavorable circumstances, because you was just in the matrix, going with emotions, going with whatever programming you were born into, going with whatever programming culturally or whatever was passed down generationally. But when you free your mind and you operate out of the fifth dimension, get in tune with God, get in tune with your creative faculties, with your imagination, then you can literally create from the fifth dimension and watch it manifest in the fourth dimension. And when things that are unfavorable manifest in the fourth dimension, feel what feelings that you feel out of whatever caused it, because you caused it. Let it go. And create some more. Stay positive, stay happy, never quit, keep going, run it up. Seek solitude often, pray often, clear your mind often, write down what it is that you want often. One of my billionaire mentors, he gave me this one quote which really stuck with me. He said, do not talk about the things that you have that you do not want, but talk about the things you don't have that you do want. If you can do that often enough, you're gonna see that you've attracted everything you've ever wanted. A lot of people get stuck in a program and they're just living life on repeat. It's like the same bullshit every day. Same thing. And nothing ever really changes. And they get stuck like that to the day they die. They don't grow. They don't learn. They're not in a creation state. Life is a lot more fun when you're in a creative state. It's way more abundant. You feel more love. You learn to be success. You don't have success. We don't have anything. You want to be attached to nothing, connected to everything. But also know that you are successful. You are worthy. You are already everything that you want to be, because in this spiritual world, in this fifth dimension, it's already done. So it's just training yourself in the fourth dimension to trust that. Trust your imagination. Trust God. Trust that it's done. Trust that you were born for a reason. You were born to live it up. You weren't born to be a slave to other people's world, to other people's opinions, a slave to other people's will. You can impose your own will onto the world and live it up and run it up. For real. And it doesn't happen overnight, right? This is, it takes 5 minutes to teach this game and a lifetime to master, right? There's books that I read, Power versus Force by Richard Dawkins, Letting Go, same author, The Master Key System, Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill. All these kind of books kind of teach this type of thing. We live in a very, very blessed time where this information is still hidden, but it's not as hidden as it used to be. So go out there and learn this stuff, because you can have whatever it is you put your mind to. Just a lot of people don't know how it actually works. So I'm here to tell you, there's another dimension they don't teach you about, the fifth dimension. Your emotions are an emotional guidance system that can literally guide you right back to your natural state. And that's where you have to stay to create the things that you want to manifest, not the things you don't want to manifest. So it's important to stay stoic and stay aware of your emotions and feel your emotions, but don't let your emotions control you, because you can travel state to state physically, but you can also travel state to state emotionally. Travel to a better state and operate from that state, and you'll see how things almost magically turn into your favor all the time, like alchemy, almost like a wizard, almost, okay, like a miracle almost, you know. So when you move like that, life gets a little bit more fun. You start to attract the things that you really want, and there's almost no worries because you're operating at a higher place, higher frequency. So